In this video, we spend time with a team at Palmview Nursery in Lusaka, as they give us an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at their massive production facilities, where they grow all the plants which they have on sale at their outlet in Millennium Village. Hi there, Nico here from Green Space Zambia, and today we are with Maggie, Mr. Zimba and Bernard at the Palmview Production Nursery, and we're going to have a bit of a tour and see kind of how they take plants from seedling stage through to sales. Now, the material that we're seeing here is their production side, so the material is not sold from this location, but then is brought to Lusaka and sold from those locations. So Palmview is named after the fact that you started with predominantly palms, isn't it? But now you've expanded into a few other things. But how many palms do you grow in total?
We grow about maybe about 35 types of palms, but we only starting to build up production now. But our main line are about 15 that we grow, 15 in our main line.
Yeah.
We've got the royal palms, we've got the foxtail palms, we've got the bamboo palms, we've got all of those. You know, maybe I should be using the Latin names for them, but I just thought it'll make it easier if we just use the common names.
Yeah, no, common names is a much easier one for most people to understand in the long run effectively.
Yeah.
What tend to be the most popular palms that people are?
Well, I think the most popular palm, there was a trend for foxtail palms, and now there's a trend for royal palms. It's a trend, you know, it
so
comes and goes.
Ebbs and flows.
This is quite a rare palm. This is a Lucuba Palm, and it's got a whitish stem to it. And if you look at the leaves, they look like the foxtail, but they're not the foxtail palm.
Quite a rare palm.
A rare palm.
Yeah, and rather than being in a single plane with most leaves, the way that these are kind of offset quite a bit. It's quite lovely.
And we've just started propagating these, and we've put them up for sale as well. And we've got some.
And then what kind of size would this get to as mature?
This one grows up to about 15 meters.
Oh, so
but the Alexandra palm, which is the king palm, which is the most common palm, that one can grow up to 25 meters.
Yeah, I've seen some very, very large ones.
Yeah, very large ones, yeah.
In terms of planting palms then, should people be conscious about where they plant palms?
Yeah, most palms are okay. They don't have destructive roots, but we recommend that plant your palms 5 meters away from the house. But you can plant them. There are some palms which you can plant around swimming pools, and it's great to put palms around swimming pools, but you can't put royal palms around swimming pools. So we try and advise people which palms you can plant. You know, the Alexandra palms and the king palms, those can be grown around swimming pools, and they also do better there because of the microclimate, you know, and the humidity around the moisture around the swimming pool. So those are highly recommended to put around pool areas to give a tropical effect.
Yeah.
And over here we've got our foxtail palms, and we grow everything ourselves from seed.
So these, how old would this be then from seed? Sorry.
From seed, this would be how old, Mr. Zimba? Maybe it'll take about 2 years. 3 years. 3 years. 2 years. From the minute that we put the seed down. Yeah. Some seed take up to 8 to 9 months to germinate. Some seeds take 3 months. Some seeds take 6 months. It depends on the type of seeds. So these are very young royal palms, as you can see. There's one here, and then we've got another size coming up here. Yeah.
Are there any palms that we can't really grow in Zambia? Most people think that Zambia has a fantastic climate. We can grow everything, but
we are subtropical in Zambia. We're subtropical. We're not truly tropical. So you get the renda palm, which is what they call the lipstick palm, which grows in Singapore, and it grows in Thailand, in those countries.
In a much more tropical
Those
location.
are completely tropical countries, you know. And here in May, June, July, those palms just die.
Yeah, it's
during
too
our
cold.
winter. It's too cold.
Yeah.
It's too cold. So yeah, and then there's going back to palms that can affect your foundations. The Phoenix canarinensis. This is one palm that must be planted at least 5 to 6 meters, up to 10 meters away from walls, pools, and foundations.
Yeah.
You know, but we advise our clients when they come to buy the palms, which roots are not invasive.
Yeah.
We always make a good point of letting people know about that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, very important in that sense.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
interesting
would you?
too, because I remember quite a number of years ago that the bamboo palm was the trend at that stage.
They do go through trends in Zambia. They really do.
Do any of those trends kind of come full circle and repeat? Has the bamboo palm reached another trend?
Well, this year we've sold out on all our small bamboo palms. We're only left with, if you can see, we've only got these. We've got some in our outlet in town, and to keep us going. So we've only left with the very big ones, and there's no market, not a big market for those. The landscapers prefer those, but the ordinary person who comes to a nursery would rather buy a smaller palm. It's more cost effective, and then they like to watch their palms to grow. So this year we were very, very popular with our bamboos, Mr. Zimba.
And also we have the bamboo again, and then the small one.
Yeah, we've got lots of small ones that we're growing to grow, but it'll be a while before we can have them at this size, you know,
And these ones are all propagated from seed. You're not, because I know the bamboo
from seed,
does
everything from seed. Yeah, and we plant 4 or 5 in one bag. We plant 4 or 5 if you look at them.
So
we
Mr.
can
Zimba,
give a bushy.
Does it hurt you knowing that you've seen it from seed all the way to size and then it disappears like a child leaving the nest? You don't.
I know everything.
No, we're very happy when we have sales because it's so expensive running a big place like this, you know, and all our staff.
Because especially too, if you're growing from seed through to a size of any larger than these.
We'll show you them.
Like you say, these bags are quite an investment.
Yes, they are. So these bags, we normally get all our bags locally, but these are imported because these have got 4 handles. We've got to be careful for our, the health and safety of our staff.
Yeah.
So this has got 4 handles, but they're UV treated. So they come from South Africa. We have to import them.
Yes.
But because they come from a SADC country and they're made in South Africa, at least we don't have import duties on them. Luckily, because we've got our exporters have got SADC certificates. So, but the rest all come from Zambia.
Yeah.
The rest all come from Zambia.
The kind of
we
black
get them,
plastics that we
So
use
these are 100 liters and these are 120 liters. There, those are big ones. The handles are down, but we've also got a forklift.
Yes, we've seen that as we drove in.
Yeah, we've got a forklift, so we lift it up, and so that some of these are very heavy. They can't carry them, and especially the bamboos, they're very heavy. So we use our forklift.
Yeah, but when you're getting to sizes like this, as you say, there is a limited kind of market, mostly landscapers and things like that.
And people, private homes, people who build these beautiful big mansions and
they need a landscape to match the villa first.
Yeah, so they're our best customers for these type of palms. So this is the biggest we can go in the 120 liters because after this they have to be sold or they're put in wire baskets.
Does it get more difficult in terms of establishment once they get to a certain size, or
they struggle with nutrients because there's not enough nutrients for the big palm in a small bag like that.
Really I imagine, it wants a lot more nutrition at that stage. But in terms of transplanting this, it's not any general difference about it establishing well comparatively to a smaller one.
No, it doesn't, because what people do who buy them, they don't recycle the bag. So what they do is they take a knife and they cut on that side into 4. And then they open it, and then they remove it. You loosen the roots a little bit, and then you plant. Okay. Mr. Zimba, you're going to be famous. And I wanted to say something very important. We are completely environmentally friendly. We don't use chemicals here at all. If we do use, we have a bit of a problem with. We had a bit of a problem on the heavy rainy season. We get black spot.
Yes.
So we sometimes use copper oxychloride, but that's about the only thing we use, and we try to minimize even that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie, we do use it, yeah.
Well, but I think, if I remember correctly, that's also considered to be an organic.
They say it could be, yeah.
Because of it's mainly just molecular at that point. But you can see little spots here. But
a little bit.
I think
but
the one
if you
thing
look,
with that,
the new ones are coming up and they're fine. And we don't cut. We never cut the leaves of the old fronds until they completely die back, because that's what gives the oxygen and to a plant, and it gets all the moisture through the leaves as well.
Yeah, it'll pull back the nutrients.
Yeah, so we try not to cut. We try and tell everybody, leave your leaves. I know they look untidy, but leave them till they're completely dry off, and better let them fall naturally if they could. But people, they can't resist that. They go and cut them, they do that. So look how beautiful and big. And now we've started growing 2 in a pot, and those are also looking good. It's just a trial.
Yes.
I saw this in Zimbabwe, and it looks really nice. So we're planting 2 in a pot now. So we're just doing a trial and seeing how they're going to go. We've only got a few here, if you notice.
Yes.
Yeah. So
it does kind of nicely match and give you a bit of symmetry the way that it grows.
Yeah, so they push each other and they look pretty.
Yeah.
I saw it in...
You just hope at that point in time that they grow at the same rate and one doesn't grow too big and the other keep small.
True. Yeah.
What the madam said, we don't use chemicals here, because if you use chemicals, you can kill milkweeds. Birds here.
Yeah, we've got our butterflies and our birds. Yeah. Well,
it's an important consideration, especially when running a nursery. Thinking of the wildlife and everything that's then around
butterflies, you. And birds and all of that. Yeah. So if you look at it, so these are our bigger. So we showed the smaller size. This is the third size that we have. So we try and sell in different sizes, so can make it affordable to everybody.
And this is the royal palm.
These are the royal palms, and this group has come from one of the most magnificent parent stock that we've ever got seeds from. And when we planted them, we had 100% success rate on them, and they're so strong and beautiful and green and healthy. So this was a great success story at our nursery, and we're very happy about it.
And these, Mr. Zimba, again would be about 3 years old or 4 years old?
No, these are about
3 years.
Yeah, from putting the seed down. When we count the years, we count it from the time we put the seed till we plant.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're actually quite quick growing, most of these.
Most of them are, most of them are. But some seed, like the queen palm, even though it's easy and fast growing, that seed takes 6 to 8 months to germinate. To germinate,
Okay.
Yeah. And now this is going now to another size. Can you see this size here? Yeah, so we try and keep them for as long as we can here to make them cost effective, because once we move them from here and we put them in the 100 liters or 120 liter, the price goes up very, very much,
I can imagine, because those bags will be quite an expense.
Yeah.
Do you have issues of the plants rooting into the ground? Because I notice you don't have any.
No. We like to leave. We like to leave because like in October now we're going to get into the hot season. We put water in the ground to cause humidity in the shade house. So we don't put anything underground, and we always check. We check to see that if we can move them. Like this one moves. You see, so, and then when we see that they're starting to go into the ground, that's when we take them out of these bags and we put them. These ones go to, because they grow big with a huge stem, we put them in 120 liters, and then like those we'll put in 100 liters. Because these now are growing into they're going to grow very big fast.
Yes. Once you hit a certain point.
For example, as we done here, it was in 40, then we put in 100 because it would be.
Yeah, so these were in food. And we also recycle our bags. We don't throw them, we keep them. So if we move them from 100 liters like these ones and we put them in 120 liters, we remove the bag very slowly and we wash them and then we reuse them.
I imagine that's quite a process to be taking a plant out of something like this. To then repot effectively.
How do you do it, Mr. Zimba? Tell them how you do it. They knock
put
it.
the bag, we just come here, like this.
And they loosen it.
Bend it.
Yeah.
After bend it,
and then
hold this one. One again hold a bag, then we pull it.
And we save the bag and we recycle it. So we recycle the bags. Yeah.
No, I do the same at our place, especially on some of the plastic bags, if they haven't been degraded by the sun too much.
So this is a princess palm. It's one of the most easiest palms to recognize because of its plaited trunk. It's a pretty little, one of my favorite palms.
This is actually quite attractive.
Take it there.
There is very few things I've ever seen that then kind of have this. I know a lot of palms do sometimes keep the bases of the fronds around, but it's then quite different than this. The way that these kind of start to splay and whatnot. Isn't
Mother Nature just amazing?
It is, yeah.
Beautiful, so beautiful. Yeah. So we also have these, and I just looked at my list. We propagate about 50 types of palms, not 30.
Palm View is an appropriate name.
Yeah.
So these are the.
So these,
You were talking about putting them in metal cages, and this is
so
then
these ones we're growing. These are our own homemade. What you call them? Our own homemade.
Containers almost.
Wire baskets. Well done, Mr. Zimba. So we put them here, and we used all the bags, and we just recycled. And Simushi, one of our welders, he's so good with his hands. He welded these baskets for us. And there's a royal palm.
Oh, this is what they will look like more as they get older.
As they get older. So.
And then what is the height of the royals on your side?
Oh, they grow over 25 meters.
Oh wow, okay.
Over
so very,
25,
very large.
and they have a very, very big trunk. Very big trunk, very big trunk.
And solid roots then to keep it in place against the winds and things like that.
Yeah, very solid. And a palm, they always ask us at the nursery, oh, how tall are your palms? And we say we don't sell our palms according to the height. The best way to sell your palm is to see the diameter of the palm. That's circumference of the palm, and so what happens is people sometimes put them all together very, very close, so they become very thin and tall, and then they say, oh, we're selling a 10-meter palm or 5-meter palm, 3-meter palm. A palm has to attain its width before it attains its height to have proper anchorage with the roots. So because of that, we say that don't look at the trunk size, and that determines the age of the palm, not the height. And so even if you get a very tall, thin palm and you put it in the ground, it'll have to attain its width before it attains its height naturally.
And I imagine at that stage it's actually probably a lot more liable in heavy winds to potentially
fall
snap
down.
and stuff like that.
So always look at the diameter of your palm, the trunk, and that's how we measure them. And people who know them, and they order palms from us, they ask us for those measurements. They don't ask us for the height. They know their palms,
Just a very quick question, because I don't think we talked about it. How thirsty are palms usually when it comes to watering needs?
Well, they need water.
They do?
They need a lot of water.
Is it?
They need a lot of water. And not so much in May, June, July. We cut down water to nearly 50%. We cut down. But in the dry season, especially from now on until the
November.
Before the rains begin.
We need, and we mulch everything. If you look, we mulch everything.
You try and keep that water in so that the sun isn't essentially evaporating.
We try not to expose, And it also keeps the feet warm in winter. It keeps the plant warm in winter. And during summer, we water early in the morning or late afternoon, starting from 3 o'clock onwards. And sometimes the staff come in late, the watering staff, because they water till 6 o'clock. Because daylight is longer, the day is longer. So they start maybe 2 hours later, but they stay on longer, and especially during October, November, during the hot months. And then in winter, we try to water in the morning so that the plants don't have cold feet at night. So we water in the morning. So these are Lucuba palms all ready to go to the nursery, to the outlet in town, and they're seriously one of my favorite palms, and I love the white stem.
It stands out quite nicely.
So initially we didn't have a Latin name for it, and we called them the Mukushi foxtail because and then eventually we found the name and we identified it, and it's called the Lucuba palm.
So I saw that sign from Mkushi Foxtail in there. I just figured that somebody was like, Foxtail from Mkushi, but I wasn't sure.
We named them as that.
Okay.
So these are all ready to go to the outlets. We bring them here, and this is where we load from. And all these are also ready to go. And here we've got the Phoenix rubellini, what they call the Pygmy date palm.
Yes.
They're small. And we try and sell in different sizes to make it affordable to everybody.
And I think I said, of all the palms, I think this is probably my favorite because it gives you that feel of almost like a bonsai. If palms could be bonsai, this one would feel like it's bonsai the most.
And it grows only up to 6 meters. That's why they call it the miniature.
It actually gets to 6 meters tall?
About 5-6 meters.
Because I've only ever seen them maybe about 2 meters tall most of the time. They're quite...
They can go up to 5 meters,
Yeesh, I hate to think of how old that would be then if it's 5 meters.
How tall do they go, Mr. Zimba?
This is 5 to 6 meters.
Really?
Not more. No, 5 is too much maybe,
I know.
No, they
Is
do.
it?
Can we look in the palm park and see? Yeah.